She was literally playing a soccer game on Saturday, and on Sunday she was fighting for her life. She was just like, I'm feeling some tingling in my hand, and then all of a sudden she just completely fell over and went unconscious. She was athletic, tons of friends, just a good kid. She was always responsible enough, a little bit, older than her years, I think. She was in grave condition, and they said when she comes out, she probably won't be able to walk. She wouldn't be mobile. She probably won't be able to have communication. Once she sets her mind to do something, she will 100% do it.
My goal is to walk the stage with graduation.
Yes. Watching her return to school, she has become so much happier socially, being able to see her friends.
Jenna's amazing. She's funny, outgoing. She makes the class laugh. She has a great humor. I'm lucky to have her as a friend.
Seeing her having a smile through life when she's going through this terrible thing that's happened to her, yeah, she has inspired me to get through anything.
I'm just happy that she's here. She has a determined spirit. She's a fighter.
I never thought we'd get this far.
Jenna Sheehy.